Good morning and welcome back. Welcome back to the Vision Alignment Show. I hope you had a great weekend. I know I did. I got a chance to spend a lot of time with my kids, which is always good. Sorry for my oldest son. He wasn't here, but the two younger ones, we did get to spend some time together. So that was exceptional. And then, just a lot of good time with family and friends. So that was phenomenal. I hope you had a good weekend as well. If you would, let us know where you're coming in from. Put that in the comment box if you would. But the Vision Alignment Show, as you know, is a show that we do where we help everyone to understand how important it is for your core beliefs and your core values to be aligned with your vision. Because if you have that alignment, you're going to be much more happy, much more successful, and much more productive in your everyday life. I'm going to tell you a little. I was going to tell you a little bit about some of the guests we have coming up for the end of the week, but before we do that, I want to bring on two guests today that are phenomenal in terms of understanding their vision and understand their core strengths and their core beliefs and their core goals. Without any further ado, I want to bring on two guys, and they're both from this company, and it's organization, and it's called A Kid Again. And their names are Oyauma Garrison and Jeffrey Damron. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having us. Looking forward to this. Happy Monday to you.
Happy Monday to you. Happy Monday to you. This is phenomenal. So tell me, if you would, when is the first time or first recollection you have of knowing your vision?
Go for it, Jeffrey.
Well, actually, mine was about 31 years ago after serving kids with life-threatening conditions to grant wishes to them in Columbus, Ohio. We met a 3-year-old named Katie. Katie wanted a fish tank. My wife and I granted her wish for a fish tank. And when I saw a picture of this bald-headed little 3-year-old girl with big brown eyes, an amazing smile, a brain shunt that drained the brain from her chemo and radiation, just an amazing young lady, that we had gotten her a fish tank. She watched her fish tank for 3 weeks before she passed away from her leukemia. And it was at that point, Brian, I decided my calling is to serve kids with life-threatening conditions and their families so they could be a kid again.
Absolutely. I love it. If you want to hear more, stay right there. Wow, great story, Jeffrey. I want to come back to that in a second here, but there are some people online that we want to say hello to. So, good morning, Eric Bam. Hashtag replay. I think he's actually listening live. He just likes to be fun. But then we also have Jane McGinnis Thomas. So, thank you both for joining and saying hello. If there's anybody else that's on the line, if you will, tell us where you're coming in from. Hashtag live, hashtag replay, whatever it is you're doing. But also, share this video out with as many people as you can think of, because that is where it all happens, is where you begin to make this community larger. And as this community gets larger, we have much more impact on the world. And that's really important for us all to do, is to have an impact and to make other people's lives better. Now, obviously, these two guys on with me today are making other people's lives better. So I want to hear a little bit more about the story of how A Kid Again got started. So, Jeffrey or Oyauma, either one of you.
Go ahead, Jeffrey.
Go ahead, Oyauma. Go ahead.
All right. So let me back up and just share that, one of the great things that Jeffrey just provided was some insight to not only his passion and his vision, but what really fuels him. And the fuel was to try to make a difference in the lives of so many other people who could be enriched from opportunities to build a community, to advance themselves, and just to have some good old plain, like we say, fun, right? Some recreational therapeutic relief. And over Now going on 26 years, A Kid Again has been doing just that and providing hope, happiness, and healing for thousands of families and the ability to really just build this community. So 26 years ago, one of our founders and immediate past CEO for this organization, Jeffrey Damron, stepped out on courage, stepped out on faith, and stepped out on his vision to basically say, how can we pull families together so that when a child is going through whatever it is that they're dealing with, and when the siblings are there as a part of this family dynamic, they can feel like they can give that condition the time out. They can actually take a break from it. And so with collaboration of so many other great people and partners that have helped build this organization over 26 years, we have now touched the lives of not only thousands of families, but we're now spread into 6 chapters, all of this starting right here in Central Ohio, the birthplace of it all, and a great opportunity to truly make a meaningful difference in the lives of so many others. And we're grateful for that because we are a condition agnostic organization. We accept any and all children who are battling any level of a life-threatening condition to come out and participate in these ongoing adventures that we have. So somewhere around once a month, they get together and have some fun.
Yeah, I love that. And not only do you do that for the kids with the life-threatening illnesses, but also their entire family.
Right.
I mean, that's right. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. I mean, it gives me chills, the work that you guys are doing. So it's pretty awesome. So how do you do all that? How does all that happen? You know, obviously you've got to have a large network of volunteers, a large network of donors, a large network of people, you know, that have fun things to do, like, you know, different amusement parks and that sort of thing. So how does it all take place?
You know, it's a great web of a network of good people who just want to do good, right? Now, let's keep it really, really simple. So we have, I think, the most incredible volunteers who step up and give of their time and their talent to ensure that we can put smiles on kids' faces. We have an incredible team here. We call ourselves a family here at A Kid Again, where we've got not only board members who support the work and the effort, but our team in and of themselves have the passion and the focus to ensure that everything that we do enriches the lives of these kids. When we talk about our vision, when we talk about being a customer-centric organization, we are a kid-focused, vision-focused organization. That means we think about and we put the kids at the center of everything that we do and everything that we're thinking about, considering that will enrich their lives. We want to make sure that we can do this from their point of view. And so we can't do this without incredible partners. And I got to tell you, I believe we have some of the best partners out there who step up and they give of their time, talent, and their resources to ensure that these kids can have these adventures cost-free and carefree. 2 very important things, because most of these kids, the average cost to raise them on an annual basis, just in the healthcare alone, is anywhere from $400,000 to $600,000 a year. Let's just face it. They don't always typically have discretionary income to be able to go out and participate at the local zoo, to go to an amusement park, to go to a local sporting venue, or heck, just to even come together and play board games and just have fun. That's what we do. We get them together and have all of that recreational therapeutic relief.
Wow. Yeah. That is awesome. And I love the passion that you guys both have and the energy. Oh my gosh. I mean, I've known Jeffrey for quite a while, but Oyauma, you embody exactly what he does. Where does that come from?
So I got to tell you, you know, you asked a question a little bit earlier about where does our vision come from? I'm sure many of your guests will agree that it starts, hopefully, for many of us in our youth, and that foundation that is laid. And then throughout our life's journey, we will have experiences, and those experiences help to evolve and to shape the vision of the things that it is that we want to do and want to achieve. And I'll be very, very candid. I'm very, very transparent. I've always wanted to give back. I've always volunteered. I've always felt a sense of community. I've always felt the need to make sure that we not only rise up ourselves, but we lift others up and bring them along. And so, but when you're working in a corporate environment, as I did for many, many years, sometimes you can go a little bit and skew in one direction, and that is on your own self. And I found myself doing that a lot in a number of years. And in October the 1st of 2016, won't go into all the details, but I will tell you that I got pushed. I got pushed into making sure that I was doing the things that I know that I've always felt a subscription to, that I've always felt was a part of my passion and my purpose. And that is how do you enrich the lives of others? How do we give back? Because at the end of the day, no one's going to remember all of those other numbers. They're going to remember how you made them feel. They're going to remember how you helped them along the way. And I like to sum it all up by saying, I want to be able to wake up each and every day knowing that I'm living a simple 4-letter word, and that is good. How much good can we do? How much good can we impart? And I know that when a kid can smile because of all the wonderful things that a kid again has brought them, that's the good. That's the currency. And life is grand.
Wow. You want to add to that, Jeffrey?
Well, yeah. One of the issues is understanding who you are and what your talents are. Okay. And I had a passion, but I didn't have this great network. So we started something local. And when it was time, I said to the board, hey, we need someone that can grow this thing, someone that can take this dream, this vision, and make it a reality. We need someone that has bigger nonprofit, bigger business experience. And Oyauma, he's lived through what our kids have lived through with his daughter and his family. And coming through it yourself and totally understanding it. If you haven't walked in the shoes, you won't totally understand it. But he does. And what he's brought to the table is our ability to grow and serve more kids. I always had this dream. I didn't want to serve them just in Columbus, Ohio. We want to serve kids with life-threatening conditions all across America. And it took Oyauma Garrison to join us so we could begin to grow. And my goodness, are we growing so we can serve more kids? It's overwhelming to think where we're going to be in the next few years and where we've come from already. It's amazing.
Yeah. Well, my daughter actually went to in the life-threatening part of that illness. She went to a children's hospital when she was just a few months old, and she had heart surgery as well. So yeah, I think that's probably true in terms of the passion. You know, you've got to be able to live that, and that really comes out more. So yeah.
And it's all about relationships. You know, I always say we've never had a corporation write a check to a kid again. We've never had a donation from a corporation. It's always been from some passionate person that cares enough to stop in the middle of a busy day to say, okay, what is this? Oh my goodness, they're doing that. We've got to be a part of that. And that person made it happen, not the corporation.
Yeah,
it's about relationships.
So what do you, I mean, a lot of success you guys are having right now in helping kids, but what do you think the biggest factor in your success is?
So early on when you asked about our vision and our focus, and I'll share, because that was one of the things that we sat down and we talked about as an organization, as a team with our board, as we reviewed our strategy, and as we talked about everything that we wanted to achieve. When we laid out our mission and we laid out our vision, the reality is the success factors all come around what it is that we believe we want to do. And that is to improve the lives of these kids. So the ability to keep them at the center of all of the work. And so when you've got people who understand that, who subscribe to that, and who want to live that and work through all of their networks, want to make sure that even when they're planning out the adventures, one of the greatest pieces of feedback we can ever receive from a family is when they say, hey, listen, we just attended your adventure, and I got to tell you, you thought of everything. You thought of everything, and we didn't have to worry for nothing. We didn't have to think about anything. We could literally just show up and just enjoy, and then know when we left, we created memories. Those are the kinds of things that we want to do. That's how we focus our people and make sure that we keep kids at the center of the work. That's the key for success, right? For us, that's what we've seen. And when we've got good people who, like I said, when they plan out the adventures for our families, they're thinking about all of those elements. They're getting the voice of the families in to ensure that we're thinking about any and all avenues that can improve their experience along this journey. And even when we're going out and we're doing fundraising development opportunities, we're thinking about how will these partnerships enhance the life of our kids? How can we get the employees of these companies engaged to come out? Because we know that also leads to what? Positive employee engagement. It
Right.
gives them a sense of community. So all of those are the avenues, but it's all centered around the kids.
Yeah, that's that's awesome. I can tell you from a corporation perspective, I've been on that side and helping a kid again. Also been on the individual side with a kid again. So I can tell you that you make it very easy to do business with or to support. You know, that level of engagement and concern that you have for the kids is one thing, but then to make that transition to making it easy for the individuals and the companies to support a kid again, that means a lot, awful lot. So thank you for that.
Absolutely.
Tell me what does the next level of success look like for you?
You know, that's a great question, and I will sum it up by saying, when we can put more smiles on more kids' faces across our great nation, when we're actually able to help improve the mental health of many of these families because we're getting them together and we're giving them an opportunity to be a family unit again, to give their illnesses a timeout. When we have that ability and we've achieved that level, then that's what success really looks like. It's not about being in 20 or 50 different states. It's about the 1.5 million kids across our great nation who are being raised and battling some level of a life-threatening condition. So how can we put more smiles on those kids' faces and on their siblings' faces? How can we help everybody in that family unit feel valued, feel connected, and feel like there's a community out there that actually cares about them? Because we also know many of these families, whether their child has a trach, whether the child is wheelchair bound, whether the child just recently left surgery and has scars, they often don't feel like they're a part of the normal components of society. And that is what we do here at A Kid Again, is we help those kids feel normal. We help the families feel normal. So to me, that's the greatest level of success that we could ever achieve, is when we're putting smiles on those kids' faces and those families can feel normal. Their mental, behavioral, and health components are aligning, and they're feeling like, wow, we can be a part of this great thing that we have going and leave that illness aside.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that means an awful lot. I mean, I've dealt with my share of medical trauma, and knowing that somebody is out there like you is it means all the world. So we have a question as well. So Jane McGinnis Thomas wants to know that how do you donate? So I scrolled the Kid Again URL up there, but maybe there's a better way.
Jeffrey?
Yeah, I think that's a great way. If you go to the URL, you can see more about what we accomplish for our kids, the siblings, and the parents. But there's also a give button, and it's pretty easy to go through there and begin to give. But I also think, Jane, you might want to think about volunteering. There's a volunteer page there as well. So it shows you how you get involved. We say volunteer, refer a child, so we don't miss kids, right? We want to serve as many as we can, or give, or you can advocate. The best way to advocate is come out, get involved, see the kids. I always say it doesn't matter what you give these kids. They always give you more in return. It's incredible. And the other thing is, I think that Oyauma really alluded to, is to when you think like an adult, you bore a child. But when you think like a child, you make them smile, right? So we try real hard, as Oyauma said, to think like a child so we can make them smile. And that includes their siblings and then their parents as well.
Wow. That's good. I love that. So you've got a lot of good stuff going on, but what would be some obstacles or challenges you're still working on?
So great question. Just like in any organization, as you continue to grow and to expand, still got to make sure that we iron out all the kinks, because not every market's going to be the same. Indianapolis is going to be different from Charlotte. Texas is going to be different from Ohio. There's going to be new dynamics. There's going to be new adventure opportunities. In some municipalities, we find that the local college team is the professional team, right? And in other places, they have professional athletic teams. So all those become dynamics. But the bigger reality is also the resources. So much like the question that was asked earlier, because we want this to be cost-free and carefree for all of our families, every dollar counts. Every opportunity for us to be able to take the burden off of the families count. And so as we get those added resources in, it allows us to serve more families. It allows us to grow and expand into new states. It allows us to be able to provide new opportunities, gifts. What we do once a year is we get together and we have a holiday party. In a holiday party, we actually allow the kids to indicate maybe one or two items they would really like to receive, all within reasonable cost structures. And we have holiday shoppers that like to go out and go find those goodies and then be able to wrap them and get them off to families. So when you think about that, along with, we've launched Adventures in a Box, which is a great opportunity for families, even during this pandemic opportunity, to be able to do things in their own cluster. And so we've had companies, we've had people donate goodies that go into those boxes. So even outside of or in including the financial donation, there's the opportunity for those that want to donate toys and other pieces or food items that we can then put inside those boxes that we can then provide to the families. We call them the Adventures in a Box. So these kits are very robust and contain all kinds of fun things for the families to be able to engage in. So those are some of the kinds of things that we have to think about as we're continuing to expand and grow into new markets. There's also a learning opportunity for us. We have families with cystic fibrosis. So it takes time for us also to learn that as we're planning adventures, how do we make sure that we're being as sensitive as possible to the distance that many of these families would need in order to ensure that their kids with CF, there's a distance required that they need to stay apart. And so we've come up with ways for them to be able to identify each other. So simple things like that, as we continue to expand and grow, we're learning, we're imparting that knowledge back, but we're also trying to clear the field because, again, 1.5 million kids. To me, there's no obstacle that we can't overcome. There's nothing that we can't get around to ensure that we can get to these kids and provide them with an opportunity to give their illness a timeout.
Oh, that's incredible. So I know you have the holiday party. I think Santa even comes to that holiday party, doesn't he? Does he still come?
Jeffrey, I think was the catalyst to make certain that when he wrote to Santa, that Santa would say, "Hey, I'm going to stop by and be there to ensure that these kids can have some fun."
Awesome.
Absolutely. And he does it every year. It's amazing.
I love that. That's cool. Also, there used to be, and I don't know if you still have it or not, there's a gala or the timeout. Do you still do that?
Yes. So once a year, we still have our big annual gala where we get a number of good people together to just have some fun. And we use it as an opportunity to talk a lot about the work that we've accomplished, what's ahead, but then also it is an opportunity for those who want to give back. Something very exciting that we're now doing is we've actually taken our Timeout Gala on the road. As we have become more of a national organization, we've decided that we want to partner up with one of our key partners, which is Cedar Fair, who actually owns Kings Island, Cedar Point, and several other parks across our great nation, and one in Toronto. And so we're actually hosting it at their venues. with the vision being that these will eventually become family reunion style weekends and opportunities for our families to come together and to be able to have some fun, our donors and volunteers to be able to come out. No greater way to see what impact you're having on an organization than to have those recipients there, and you can actually talk to them. You can actually encourage them as donors, and we get to have some fun in that entire experience because Cedar Fair does an incredible job at their amusement parks to ensure that all of their guests, including our families at a Kid Again, walk away with smiles on their faces and tons of memories created. Great roller coasters, great food, great fun.
Wow, that's awesome. Very cool. Tell me, we're almost out of time, and believe it or not, this time has gone by so fast. And I thank you for being on. But one last question I think I want to ask, maybe two. But the one question is, who helps you to see your blind spots? Because I mean, there's always times where you're missing things, or you're having an effect on somebody you don't want to have that effect on them, but you still are. How do you see those blind spots and see through them?
Jeffrey?
Brian, the first way I try to find my blind spots is asking the dear Lord that made us all. God, and the great thing is when he created the heavens and the earth, he didn't have anyone with him there, but then he created man, and he uses man to do his work. Okay. He could heal these kids immediately. He could do whatever he wants, but he chooses to use Oyauma and me and all of our volunteers, our board leaders, yourself. I remember, wasn't there a book you wrote and you gave proceeds to a Kid Again called A Radical Vision, I think?
Yeah.
You know, people like you that are passionate and care. Yeah, that's it right there, man.
Kid Again.
I love it. I love it. People like yourself that get involved help us to do that. And so we're very, very grateful for those around us. Oyauma sometimes, he has an idea and I'm thinking, oh Lord, is that the right one for us to do? And then he does it. And I think, oh Lord, thank you for having him do it, because I wouldn't have done it that way, but it's amazing. So it's the people around us, the people in our lives, our volunteers, our donors, our board leaders, our staff. We don't have all the answers ourselves, but when it's like, we're not a hand, we're not all hands. Some of us are heads, some of us are feet, some of us are legs, some of us are arms, but put it together, this team at A Kid Again is amazing. And we've got an amazing leader in Oyauma. And so I think the dear Lord and those around us, we lean on them to help us understand what's best, because we don't know it all ourselves. Work together.
Wow.
So I would add to that. I would say that, you've got, as Jeffrey said, you've got to surround yourself with good people. Yep. And you also have to give them the permission in some cases to provide you with that feedback, because there's no greater thing than the gift of feedback that can help you with those blind spots. Whether you're running an organization, whether you're in the organization, whether it's personal, family, whatever the case may be, you have to surround yourself with good people who care enough about you to give you the necessary feedback to ensure, whether you're heading in the right direction or not, that they have that space to be able to give that feedback to you and to know that you're going to do something with that information, right? Mm-hmm. And so that's the great thing about this organization. That's the great thing about personal life, professional life, is surrounding ourselves with the people who care enough to lean in when they need to and provide you with information, and be on those peripherals, if you will, to be able to see things that perhaps you may not be able at the moment, and share that with you to then inform decisions that we all make down the road. And we have been blessed, and I have been blessed. We have an incredible board. We have incredible boards, even for our chapters. We have an incredible team, and we have incredible advocates, families, volunteers, ambassadors who all step up, lean in, and provide a critical voice to ensure that we continue to deliver those smiles on those kids' faces and have some fun along the way.
Wow. That's great. Great, good news. I love you guys, both of you guys. I mean, you're doing phenomenal work. I ask for God to bless you like He's blessed me, and I look forward to having another conversation like this with you guys soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I'm gonna send you guys to the green room if you don't mind, and I'm gonna close out the show. But are there any other closing comments you have?
No, I don't. I think again what Oyauma just alluded to, and that's putting the kids first. We surround ourselves with these kids and asking the parents and the kids, is this what you need? Because from my point of view, I think it is, but from their point of view, they give us input and we tweak things and make a better program. And he's an incredible leader. So thank you so much for allowing us to share a kid again with everyone, Brian. Proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Take care. Wow. What a great show. All these shows, I just think they're all great. I don't know why. Every time we finish with a show, that's a great show. That's another great show. But it's true. We're having great guests on, and the work that Jeffrey and Oyauma are doing at a Kid Again is phenomenal. So if you go out to kidagan.org, please donate whatever you can donate, whether it's time, talents, treasure, whatever it is. So I'd appreciate you doing that. Let's see. For coming up for the end of the week, actually, not the end of the week, but tomorrow, we have Kelly Robinson join us back again, and she's a return guest. She did such a phenomenal job last time. We want to continue to ask her some more questions and find out more about what she's doing. So I'm looking forward to that. But then Friday, we have, we're not having the Vision Alignment show on Friday, but we're having the Radical Vision for Disability show. And with that, we are going to be interviewing the National Sports Center for those with disabilities. And I mean, that is that's an organization out of Colorado, headed up by Kimberly Easton, phenomenal group of people. And we're going to have 10 people on the call. So that should be interesting. We've not done that before, but we'll see how it goes. I have a feeling that we're going to run over our time on that one, but thank you all so much for joining us. I appreciate you. I appreciate you joining. And if you ever have any questions, by all means, if I can ever do anything for you, please let me know. And as always,